Hundreds of teachers and others showed up at the Statehouse today. Take a look at that crowd. They are working to urge lawmakers to vote against Senate Bill 1. Thanks so much for joining us here at 5 o'clock. I'm Nicole Griffin. The bill was written to give Hoosiers property tax relief, and part of it requires public schools to share property tax revenue with charter schools. WRTV Statehouse reporter Meredith Hackler joins us live tonight. So Meredith, who were those groups that were voicing their concerns today?
Well, Nicole, there were hundreds of public school teachers, parents, and students today, along with supporters of public libraries, who all say that Senate Bill 1 will negatively impact their bottom line, hampering the services that they can provide. Supporters of Indiana libraries are concerned their budgets will take a major hit. Some could come from a reduction in property tax revenue, but they could lose more due to a 5% cut in the state budget and potentially from federal cuts too.
We transport library books from all over the state to where they're needed, would be challenged because that funding is cut. We would also be challenged to continue the Indiana Digital Library with our Libby app that shares digital materials throughout the state as well.
This is the kind of cut that we can't even pay our bills.
The Greenwood Library says if Senate Bill 1 goes through and if there are cuts in the state library's budget, it will drastically impact their operations.
We would be cutting needed programs like Libby, so electronic books. We would be cutting probably some Saturday hours, evening hours, programs like story time. I mean, everything's on the table.
As a taxpayer and somebody that values those services, I think Greenwood Public Library does a fantastic job, and I really think that it's important that we try to protect that.
In another part of the Statehouse, hundreds of public education supporters voiced their displeasure with Senate Bill 1. It cuts property taxes and requires public schools to share what funding they get from property taxes with charter schools. For larger districts like IPS, that means make ends meet with millions less.
IPS is expected to lose $96 million between now and 2032. 20 to 25 buildings will close. Hundreds of educators will be out of a job, and thousands of our students are going to be impacted with transportation being cut.
Fewer resources, and parents and students worry the quality of education will suffer.
Those who have means will choose private schools, charter schools, but charter schools cannot serve those with special needs.
I am able to have friends that speak different languages, so I can also pick up on what they're saying. And I just think it's really cool because I know most people don't get that opportunity to have friends that speak multiple different languages. And even though I only speak one language, I'm trying to learn multiple other languages because that's the future of the world.
Senate Bill 1 was on the list of concurrences today here in the Senate. You can probably hear them behind me. They're currently debating other pieces of legislation at the moment. Now, that concurrence is required because major changes were made to Senate Bill 1 in the House, but senators don't have to concur on that piece of legislation until the last day of the legislative session, which is still a few weeks away. Live at the State House, Meredith Hackler, WRTV.
A very busy day there, Meredith. Thank you for that report. Well, many Indiana kids were not in the classroom today because their teachers were at the Statehouse. They did lessons at home without live instruction. That includes IPS. It's called an asynchronous learning day. IPS has already used all of the allowed asynchronous learning days for the year, so that means an extra in-person day will be added to the current school year to make sure students have 180 days of state-mandated in-person instruction. The new last day of school now for IPS students will be Friday, May 23rd.